What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. It's been a couple of days. Happy to be back, though. Time for some StarCraft 2 commentary. I'll be taking a look at a single game today. Today's game is going to be between GoOdy and MaNa. We're in the map Dual Site, spawning in the left-hand spawn location as our purple Terran player. We've got GoOdy, and then over here in the far right position, our green Protoss player is going to be MaNa. So this is going to be a Terran versus Protoss, GoOdy versus MaNa. And yes, once again, this is just going to be this single game. It got sent to me not too long ago, I believe last night. I was told it was a really great game, so yeah, hopefully it turns out to be such. SCV moving across. It looks like we will be getting a wall off here from GoOdy as he will be attempting to hide his tech. I'll be interested to see if he decides to go no gas and get that second depot really early. Just trying to deny that first scout, and MaNa, we'll have to see how early he decides to push out, because honestly, if he moves out with that 12 gateway probe, he should be able to get there in time. Take a look. Actually, there goes a scout before the 12 gateway is dropped, and he is moving straight down. And yes, we'll be going straight towards GoOdy's base, so we will be scouting out nice and early. Here's the gateway, and let's see if that scout makes it on over in time. I do believe he should. GoOdy should not be able to get up a second depot before that probe gets here. It's actually going to be pretty close here. We're getting close to 100 minerals, and is he going to pull down with an SCV? Where are his intentions? No, he is going gas, so he's not getting that full wall off early, so all of that speculation for naught. As MaNa makes his way on in, loop-de-doo, no problem whatsoever. Makes his way right on into the main base here of GoOdy, scouts out the gas, and now he knows everything is fine. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy, nothing too unorthodox, and really nothing to worry about at this point in time. He's not looking at a fast expand or anything from GoOdy. So MaNa's just feeling pretty comfortable. He's probably going to just chill out here for a little while longer, again, until that first Marine. You might want to actually hightail it out now as that second depot it doesn't get dropped yet. I almost expected it to. First finishing off with that SCV. Then here comes the Orbital Command. Is he going to drop the depot? Trap him in, trap him in. What are you doing, GoOdy? Oh, you need that depot anyways. You should have trapped him in. What the heck is going on? You should have done that. Got a bunch of numbers and stuff. Marine pops out. A little bit of micro. See ya later. To the probe, he gets taken out pretty easily, and then GoOdy finally drops that down. Now, all that spamming and numbers, I'm assuming that there was some lag. That's typically what you see as a result. That was him bouncing between his hotkeys, and all of a sudden, whoa, what's this? Nothing's happening. There's a big lag thing right in the center of the screen, and then he hits enter. And there you go. All right, so we got a Stalker and Warp Gate research coming out. There's going to be a Chrono Boost there on that early Stalker, trying to get him out as soon as possible. Force that SCV out of the base. Secondary probe scout moving on over. So obviously not going to be able to make it up there. Really no question about that, but he might be chilling out here around the expo for a little while. He's actually checking the back there. And here we go, moving on up. We do have a bunker, and he spots that, makes a secondary poke there with that probe just to confirm. He was really hoping to spot an attachment. You can see there's a reactor coming down. We also have that factory coming out over here for GoOdy. GoOdy still on the one gas, full saturation. Back over here for MaNa, not a whole lot now. His first Stalker is out. Moving into a second Stalker as well, and there it is. Twilight Council, MaNa. Ooh, very interesting opening here. I was really half expecting a 2 or 3 gate expand, but we might be seeing something a little bit different as we get this early game Twilight Council. Keep an eye on MaNa. Now, will be a 3 gate opening at the least. Now, is this going to be DT? It's possible. Something to consider. One Hellion moving out. A Tech Lab coming down on the factory. Starport's being built. We're going to be seeing double Marines there out of that reactor racks. Obviously, the Hellion, no match for the Stalker, but he is so much quicker. He's going to make it by and try to get some scouting intel, and he should, as there's no sentry out. I think he might be able to sneak on up. We're actually going to see the Stalker and 2 probes form that wall off. Look at that. Units on hold position, and they're all set to get that wall off. So even if that Hellion tried to make it up, he really wouldn't stand a chance. We're actually going to see right now GoOdy scouting with the Hellion. He's checking for secondary scouts. Also probably looking for possible proxy pylons. Let's see what's going on. We will be seeing actually Hellion medevac here opening. At the moment, just one Hellion. Second Hellion's going to pop there, and here comes a tank immediately after the drops. It appears to be with Marines and Hellions, unless he's not dropping and just going to be using it for a push. Let's keep an eye on that medevac. But back over here, ooh, Blink Stalkers. We have that robotics out as well. That is coming. Where is it? Whoa! What are you doing over here? Robotics being built just to the north here of the main base of GoOdy. And I'll be very interested to see what he intends to do with that. It's going to be a quick observer scout. That's such a dangerous position. My gosh. I don't believe MaNa is planning for this game to get into the late game. Now, with this, here it is. Here it is. A very quick observer. Blink Stalkers right up into the main. That's what he just wanted, that observer there nice and early with time for that blink research. You can see that blink research just finishing right now as we have a chrono boosted observer coming through. But you got to keep in mind here, GoOdy is still on one base. He's not planning any expansion or any really macro heavy play at the moment. In fact, he is planning to push out and do some damage, but here comes the blink stalk. I love this. I absolutely love this. Here we go. So robotics here, very close observer instead of having the observer move all the way across the map. And now that that blink research is done, watch this vision of the high ground. And here come the blink stalkers. They're moving right up into the main. Now he's going to spot this. You got to get up now. You got to hit. Oh, you got to hit. He's not happy. He's not happy with what he sees. Lots of Marines. He sees the fact, oh man. All right, so it's going to be one base versus one base. Blink Stalker Observer versus Marine Tank Banshee is what we're seeing right now. And really, I'm a little bit concerned for MaNa as Marine Tank Banshee is very strong. In fact, just starting that siege tech now as he's going to go into a bit of defensive position. Some nice Blink Stalker micro, though. Peeling back those injured stalkers, doing a great job. However, with blink off cooldown, he ends up losing quite a few. He's going to be forced back now. And with that siege tech, once that finishes, those blink stalkers are going to have a very hard time pushing on an entrenched GoOdy. So I'm actually expecting now both players scouting out that they were against a one basing opponent. They may very well at this point decide to, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna expand. Let's take this into a macro game. Banshee gets spotted. Blink Stalkers make quick work of that. Here comes an expansion for GoOdy, and I expect to see the same over here from MaNa. I would be really surprised if he didn't try to expand. He could try to move out with some aggression first and just really be dead set on doing some damage here. But look at that. Siege tanks all sieged up. MaNa's got to know now he can't walk into that. He does not stand a chance, and no matter where he went, there's siege tank coverage. He cannot hit the. He cannot blink up there. He's gonna get slammed. He cannot really move over here. He's gonna get. Oh no! Blink it up into the main, sniping down the tanks, and the blink stalkers take out all the tanks. They got to deal with those Marines, and that wouldn't be a problem. But with all these SCVs making things a little bit more difficult and forcing him to target fire, he is pushed back. I did not see that coming. I was not expecting him to take out the tanks, but that was huge for MaNa as he takes out one of his biggest threats there. And these Marines aren't as threatening. Now, you got to still worry about that Banshee. He's got some solid range with that. And with a little bit of micro plus some repair, and he can do a bit of damage. We got another tank here. It's going to protect if there is any warp. And there's a scan taking out the observer. Obviously, GoOdy realized, hey, how's he shooting my stuff if he's got no vision of the high ground? So he realized that observer was there, decided to take care of it. And going to go right up the stairs there, taking out the other tank. He's been taking out all these big threats so that he's just dealing with Marines, and that Banshee's actually in a really tough spot too. Looks like these Stalkers will be blinking out of there. Oh man, he just kept taking out those tanks. That is awesome. All right, so another observer coming on through here. Some more Stalkers getting warped in. MaNa is still on one base, but there it is. Nexus getting dropped. Now, one thing that MaNa can do here is he's got the mobility. Although he might not have very much firepower at the moment, he just doesn't have a lot of Stalkers. He can try to contain GoOdy, try to keep him inside of this one base. I mean, look at this. How many tanks has he lost already? Let's take a look, first of all, at the resources he lost. Surprisingly, MaNa is behind, but losing those tanks has been devastating for GoOdy because that was kind of the linchpin of his army. He was relying on that. He was so relying on that to prevent these, that harass here from these Stalkers. And actually, there you go, some more vision of the high ground. Gonna take out the depot. Got a couple shots there on the orbital command. I'm really feeling good about MaNa's position so far in this game. I mean, he's doing pretty well. There's a scan trying to grab that observer. Observer's gonna push back. We're gonna see those Stalkers pull back here as well. What I'm saying though is that MaNa, he can really delay this. The fact that he was able to thin up those tank numbers two times. Now he's got 2 tanks to deal with right now, but still GoOdy isn't quite. He's almost there. He's not quite ready to push out. He needs to set up those tanks, and the problem is that if he tries to move on into a position, there we go, testing the siege line. He's going to be moving forward and actually sniping down the reactor. Very close. Does he get it? Yes, he does. So close. There it is. Takes it out. and pulls back. Yeah, GoOdy, he's going to need another tank or two before it's comfortable to push out. And this is the huge advantage right now, because with these blink stalkers and with that constant harass, he's been able to keep GoOdy inside of that one base, force him to mine out so quickly. Look how low those resources are now. Obviously, resources are pretty low over here as well. The difference is, though, look at that full saturation over here at the natural expansion. Man's going to be chrono boosting out his Nexus with nothing building in it. That was a mistake. And let's see that transition. He's preparing right now for Charged Zealots. We'll also be coming out with a Templar Archive. So we'll be seeing Charged Lot Archon or Charged Lot High Templar for Storm, and one or the other. And ooh, very sneaky play here by GoOdy, but that's going to get spotted because obviously he doesn't know there's a proxy robo down here. So he's attempting to expand over there because, again, with the Blink Stalkers, he's having a hard time moving out of his main base. Look at this. That's hilarious. So the orbital command gets spotted here by the proxy pylon and the robotics. All of a sudden, GoOdy is like, what the heck is going on? And he's preparing to push. Here it comes. He's moving out right now. So much. These stalkers can definitely not handle that. MaNa knows that's coming. He's got that observer scout. He's going to be trying to do some damage and peeling back here with these stalkers. He needs to be careful not to lose too many, though, as he is getting pretty far behind at the moment. We take a look at where am I going? Here we go. Army supply tab. GoOdy's got a very strong army compared to MaNa. He's got to be careful, just trying to thin numbers up now. Charge upgrade is finished, and he's got some Archons in play, and that's really what he needed. He needed that stuff to finish. He's going to need another Warp in or two, though. You got 2 more High Templar. Should be seeing another Archon. There it comes. And let's see how this defense is. This is GoOdy's chance to get back in the game, because right now he really is a bit behind. Look at that bunker placement here, trying to make a little bit of a buffer here and get those tanks some breathing room. And it looks like the Protoss army is circumventing. He's just sacking the Expo as he pulls himself down here. Going to be intercepting some forces here, and that's pretty huge, but he's got to be concerned about this force walking into his main base, because here, oh no, are we going to see a base trade? Is that what is about to happen? Oh, this is not good at all. Here we go. Base trade about to take place right now. GoOdy moving up with those Marine heavy forces. Got some SCVs in the mix, got those tanks as well as those Banshees. This base is a goner. And here goes MaNa. I'm concerned for MaNa, though, because GoOdy can float buildings, and I think that we're going to get to that point. I really think it's going to happen. I'm really concerned. I do not think that was the greatest idea to go for that base trade. All right, so there it is. There's the liftoff. And without any air units, oh, man, it's going to come down to army versus army. This is ridiculous. So here's the full-on base trade right now. He's trying to get his racks on over. That way he can get a few more Marines into play. We'd like to see him pull a starport down somewhere as well. We're going to orbital command moving into this position. This is a huge advantage for GoOdy right now, because he can all of a sudden just land this and start mining, and that is what's going to happen. So MaNa has lost everything. We've got some buildings spread out, and all of a sudden, you know, GoOdy, I felt, was in a strong position for a good chunk of this game, but all of a sudden, I felt MaNa was in a good position for a strong chunk of this game, but all of a sudden, GoOdy seems to have a huge advantage. I mean, this is huge. Now, at this point, what needs to happen here for MaNa is he cannot chill. Ah, man, he has to walk into bunkers and all those siege tanks. MaNa just lost the game going for that base trade. He should have known, MaNa, you can't base trade with a Terran. He just lifts stuff off and stuff, and you're kind of screwed. Now, do we have... All right, we've got probes a lot. Ah, the high yield expansion snipe. Oh, man, there it is, high yield expansion. This game's not over yet. Although it's not looking good for MaNa at all, because we do have some racks in play. I did not realize that he dropped that. That is awesome. All right, so now what needs to happen here is MaNa really needs to keep up harass. He cannot, because it's going to be so easy for GoOdy to get himself back in this game. He has got everything he needs. He's got a factory right here, about to land his racks. He's got mining going on already, and MaNa has to wait for that high yield to get up. Now, we still have that starport over there. These 2 racks are going to make their way and land on over in this position. Observer Scout checking everything out here. Oh, I cannot believe that there's a Nexus main built down here. It's hilarious. He got a ton of pylons as well. Get himself out of that supply block and work his way back up the gateway. He's got to go all the way back up to tech, though. That's the biggest issue. Biggest issue right now is that GoOdy has his buildings. He's got his tech, so he can start rebuilding very, very quickly. And that the same cannot be said here for MaNa, because he's got to go all the way back up, starting from scratch there. And he's got that robo. He can actually make immortals. Wow. Should probably consider doing that. Needs to get his gateway very soon, though, to get himself back in this game. But really, it isn't looking good. It's not looking good at all for MaNa right now. GoOdy seems to be in a very solid position. Again, that base trade, it's so difficult to base trade here in this matchup against a Terran player, but he can just lift off his stuff. And, you know, obviously MaNa isn't afforded that same opportunity. He lost all of his tech, all of his production buildings, absolutely everything. There we go, starting from the beginning here with the gateway. I do wonder if he knows that he can build immortals, though, because I will be interested to see if he decides to do so to try to counteract these tanks here. And we're going to be seeing more tanks come out for GoOdy, and it looks like he's going to be comfortable with that. I'm trying to churn out some of these tanks. And this army, unfortunately, not able to do a bit, not able to do much more harass here, as the Blink Stalker numbers all of a sudden are very low. He's sitting at 5 of those. And, you know, his main method of harass was trying to move in and do some damage and then pull back, but unfortunately just doesn't quite have enough to actually do sufficient damage. Plus he's getting ready to walk into the tank line. Now what I wonder here, yeah, he's got no idea. GoOdy really does not know, and here he comes. Should be scouting out here with this Banshee. First and foremost, going down here and trying to come out with that Immortal. That's gonna get prevented though. Even if he gets that out, it's dead. But that pylon's gonna get dropped very soon. It looks like he might get that Immortal out. It's gonna be pretty close. But still, it's gone. I mean, the Banshee's just going to kill it, right? That's really no question about that. Trying to come out with another pylon, and that should allow the Mortal to get out. We got a couple Stalkers moving down, and they're actually going to be trying to take out the Banshee. However, the Banshee is pulled back just out of range. Oh, no, he's in range. There we go. Stalkers defend it. Banshee forced back. But again, look at this. Full production going on. Let's take a quick look at the income tab. Yeah, new gas coming out right now from MaNa. He's just on those minerals right now. Just now, getting up that assimilator. Gateway now finished. Let's see that cyber core get dropped. Yeah, MaNa really has to realize that he is toast at this point. I mean, he's got to realize he's just way too far in the game. Trying to come down to another pylon. The forces are moving out here. Let's see what he's going to do. He saw those forces move out, so he's going to attempt to push, but here we go. GoOdy is coming back. Here it comes. Shard Zealots right now, and Archon's going to do some damage. Tank sieging up, and automatically, we're going to see him pull all the way back. Observer Scout chilling out over here right now. Still got some Immortal production coming out over here. Really surprised MaNa managed to keep that up. Very, very impressed, in fact, that he managed to do so. We got 2 Banshees in play. Let's see where they are. They are both there with the main army. Needs to be careful not to get taken by surprise here. Big thing to keep in mind, though, is GoOdy still does not know where MaNa's base is. Tanks not sieging up. They're just going to go for their straight all normal DPS, taking out the Immortal. Oh, that is not good. Right now, MaNa just lost pretty much everything. Take a look at the army tab really quick. Not looking good at all. And here we go. He's going to be pushing down into that lower right position. And MaNa refuses to give up as he's going to be pulling all of his workers off the line and moving up for a counterattack with 5 Stalkers. All right. Well, we'll have to see how effective that's going to be. Obviously, I'm expecting it not to be at all, as we're going to see MaNa's base get taken out again. And it looks like GoOdy's going to win the game, guys. Now, this Stalker harass certainly can be pretty effective here. We got 1 tank coming out, a couple more Marines pulling back here as well. Tank gets taken out. Stalker's pushed back. He's still alive. Blink back, Stalker. Blink back into safety. He gets taken out. Marines move forward and target fire him down. Now they're just 4 Stalkers. Continue to do some damage. We're going to see some tanks pull down, and the rest of the Marines and tanks over here taking that out. Still got this Robo, some more Immortals coming out. I don't know what MaNa really hopes to do. I mean, he's really dedicated. He's determined here to stay in this game, but truthfully, it's just too many Marines, and he's not going to be able to handle that. He really will not. He was able to harass a little bit and do a little bit of damage, but again, not quite enough. He's going to be trying to rebuild that expansion yet again. Wow. You got to hand it to MaNa. He is absolutely dedicated. He's refusing to give up. So hats off, my friend. Hats off indeed. And that certainly shows you something. I don't know. Got 3 Immortals in play right now. Some more Stalkers. I mean, again, GoOdy has won this game. It is over. There's too much of a discrepancy here between these 2 players, and there's too much of an advantage for GoOdy. And you know, I'm gonna go back to the turning point in this game, which was, you know, when we opted for that base trade. Now, here's the thing. I say things like, oh man, MaNa, you should not have gone for the base trade. MaNa was clearly in a position at that point where he was like, there's no way I can defend this. But at the same time, he should have realized that that base trade was going to be kind of pretty futile. Seen some nice unit management here, though, from MaNa, and actually thinning up these forces. He's about to lose those Immortals, though, with those blank stock. The Marines are dead! What just happened? You gotta be... Are you kidding me? MaNa, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. He, with some beautiful micro, was able to take out all the Marines in the tanks. Now he's got no production going on, but unit-wise, he's actually okay. He's got a couple of bunkers here with Marines, but there's nothing else. We got more Marines coming out. Doesn't have any tanks yet, just working his way back up to gas. You're going to see that observer scout moving. First thing, he's checking for his tanks. When he spots none, what is he going to do? Is he going to push? If MaNa wins this game, I'm going to raffle so hard. Blinking up into the high ground. He's going to be going straight for some harass back here in the resource line. Now, once those Marines push out, we should see some micro. Don't lose the Stalker. Blink him back. Blink him back, please. Blink back that Stalker. There's some good micro going on. He's doing all right against these Marines. Gonna try to pull down. Loses one Stalker. Loses a second. That is terrible. The Immortals still haven't come into play. I really wanted those guys to come down while the Stalkers were harassing. Unfortunately, obviously, MaNa is a little bit preoccupied right now. He's just trying to micro around and thin up these Marines numbers as much. Oh, down to just one Stalker. Come the Immortals. We got a couple Immortals and a charge. Still, if that bunker is going to prove to be a little bit of a difficulty for him. He takes out the bunker, though, with the Immortals, and the Zealots move forward with the Stalkers, and MaNa's fighting tooth and nail here, trying to stay in this game. He's got nothing else here for unit production, though. He's going to be forced back down to just one Immortal and a Stalker. I do think that Immortal is gone down to just a Stalker. And Immortal's taken out by the SCVs, and the Stalker blinks into his own demise. That is it, my friends. Banshee over here. MaNa calling the GG. Oh my gosh, what a game. What a game. Absolutely crazy game here between MaNa and GoOdy. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry for the hiatus in StarCraft commentaries. We'll be getting right back on the ball with that, though. So stay tuned very, very soon for the basic normal schedule, trying to do about a best of 3 a day, Monday through Friday. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thanks again, guys. Keep watching and keep owning. That was a crazy game. My gosh.